Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 10th of May, and I'm here to do another card reading for you today. Just try and get the best angle here. I've not bothered with the light. We'll just see how it runs today. It was very cloudy earlier, but it seems to be clearing, and it's quite warm. So let's just dive into the card reading. I'm kind of looking forward to this myself, just to see what the energies are. There is a total lunar eclipse coming up on Monday. So I think in UK time, it'll be Monday, 5:30 a.m., something like that. So it can be quite a magical time and can cause a lot of shifts within energy bodies, within the system at large. And so it's just something to keep in mind during that time, should you be noticing anything interesting or changes or nostalgia or things coming in for you to shift and clear and change. So let's just dive in, as I usually do, with some tarot. I've grounded and protected. So we'll see what the tarot wants to tell us today. I hope you're all well. It's lovely to see so many people watching the episodes and getting something from it. It's just something I want to do. It helps me. It helps me get to know cards, to get to know how to talk about things like cards and energies and making connections with different things. So let's just see what the energies of today are. And as I'm speaking now, the sun is just starting to really come out and shine a light. So for me, that's just an element of acknowledgement of the brighter days ahead. We know summer's coming. We know it's getting warmer. You know, barbecues are becoming a thing again. I can certainly see outside in my neighbourhood, lots of people are starting to barbecue again and have outdoor eating and sitting outside, and it is just so good for the soul to spend some time outside. So I encourage you all, if you can, just to get a breath of fresh air now and again. I've yet to do that today. Oops. 3 cards dropped, so I'm going to go with those 3. Haven't looked at them yet. So I've been busy today. I haven't actually got outside yet because I want to do an art shift workshop, and I'm going to do one in person, as I've done previously and told you about. So the art shift is a space where we get together and we have moments of stillness, sort of through a guided meditation, and just sort of sitting in a space. And from that, then we make art. And there are some very simple art exercises for beginners. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to have any interest, even in art. It's just if you want to join, it's something you can do. It's an exercise. And then from playing with paints and playing with the process, things are created. And then from what is created, we can actually get signposts and information from those things as well. So it's a different way of using art. So I'm having an in-person one, and that's at Clearly Destiny, which is a beautiful spiritual centre of education and development in London. It's very close to my heart. I work a lot with the people at Clearly Destiny in Euston, and that's on the 22nd of May. But if you can't make that, I am doing a Zoom workshop. Bearing in mind the internet stays okay, because we are in Mercury retrograde, so internet connection, fingers crossed, will go okay. But that will be on Sunday. So this Sunday coming, the 15th, from 4 o'clock till 6, I'm doing an art shift over Zoom. It'll just be 2 exercises. It'll be about 2 hours, and we'll just have some stillness, have some art making, have a little bit of discussion, and see how that goes. So if you want to join that, just get in touch, email karen@karentinney.co.uk. So let's jump into the read. First card, Justice. So as I usually do, I read these things intuitively. So I'm just letting, whatever information comes to me to help describe this situation. But justice, as it says, is something is coming into balance. Something is being resolved. There is an element of, I want to say, mismanagement in some area, and it will be put right, basically. So you can see that she is holding not only a sword, but she's holding scales. These are the scales of balance, almost like the Libran sign, where we want everything to be okay. Everything in life isn't okay, but we are always moving towards equilibrium. So there is a sense of us going out of balance, but finding ways to come back into balance. You know, our life isn't one smooth road. I don't know if you've seen that drawing where this is how I expect my life to run. And then the other drawing is scribbles all over the place. And this is actually how my life is. You wouldn't learn if there wasn't a few ups and downs. So what this is saying is whatever is negative, whatever is out of sorts, whatever you have been perhaps suffering from or being a victim of, or feeling demoralized, or feeling that you're subjected to something which is unfair, justice will be done. So, and this is coming from the hand of God. So the sword is pointing straight up to the heavens. So this is divine justice coming in. This is the higher justice. So this can be different to our human sense of justice. We all have ideas of what's right and wrong based on our own perspective, our own opinions, our own conditioning. This is a different level of justice. So this is a higher justice. And through the process of solving this issue, things change. Through the process of going through, for example, a court case, lots of stuff gets churned up and dealt with. So there's an element of repair and healing in this as well. So when you have a wound, the wound doesn't suddenly go from being a wound to being a scar. It goes through the clotting of the blood. It goes through the stitching back of the skin. It goes through the scab, and then the scab leaves the scar, and then the scar eventually heals as best as it can. So there's many ways and periods through which you have to go through, almost from taking the wound through to achieving the salve, which is the justice. She's a woman here, so she's representing divine femininity. So there's an element of divine femininity coming in, which is requiring that it's time to acknowledge the woman. It is time to do justice to the woman. It is time for woman and feminine energy, which is in men and women, this feminine energy to come forward and to be in a place of power, to be in a place of commanding resolution, possibly revolution, but not revolution in the male sense, revolution in the female sense. So it is about going into the heart. It is about intuition. It is about creativity. It is about love. We also have the owl here. So there's a little owl here. An owl often represents wisdom. Owl is the bird that flies at night. And so it works in the dark. It can see in the dark. It can turn its head 360, so it can see all sides. So it is able to truly look at a situation, not just for what appears right now in front of me, but from all sides of the situation, from all players, from everything involved, from all scenarios, all contributors, all environments, it's just all these different elements that create a scene or a situation. You've got to be able to see all of them to truly make a decision on what's going on. Behind her, she has a drape of purple. So the purple is your divine light. So it is the divine essence coming through, the divine justice, higher consciousness. It is working from sort of the crown chakra and above, which is much, much higher realms than simply the earthly human realms. She is surrounded by these two pillars. Two pillars can point to twin flames. So there could be a justice in a relationship, final divine justice bringing two pillars together, two twin flames together. It's also a stable foundation. She's sitting on this bench which is solid. These pillars are solid. So it's setting up this solid decision making. Something's decided, something is going to happen, something is going to cut through the BS. There is a true revelation that is about to occur. And she's comfortable. She's comfortable there. She's merely, it's almost like you are being the conveyor of divine feminine justice in the world. She is channeling divine femininity into the world. She is helping balance the world with the divine feminine wisdom. So it's an interesting first card. So we'll see where we go. So we have the Queen of Swords. Can you see the Queen of Swords there? She was upside down, which tends to point to a little bit of a block or a less obvious, what would I say? Characteristics. So she has typical characteristics of being a little bit cold, being a little bit shut off, hiding her essence, hiding her emotions, being in control of herself. She's very much possibly standoffish or not connected because she feels this power and she feels this connectedness to the world here at her feet. She's grounded, she's connected, but she's not giving everything away. She's connected to the higher realms through the sword, which rises up and connects with the divine and brings it through. And she's all about thoughts and gathering thoughts and methodology and bringing that down. A great thinker, very intelligent, able to suppress some emotions so she can rise to the intelligence. So perhaps in her appearing upside down, she has to suspend the thinking a little while. She has to drop down into the heart and feel. So it's going from what we're doing, which is reaching divine feminine energy, and being aware that we can shut it off, being aware that we can be too much in our heads, being aware that actual healing of trauma, you've got to get into your body. I did a course once where I talked about healing trauma and about the effects on the brain. And number one way to begin your healing is physical body work, because we hold all this stuff in our body, and unless you do the body work, you'll never get it. You'll never reach those places. You'll never raise those elements to the surface. So in a sense, her sword currently is pointing downwards because she's upside down. So this is saying we have to go down. We have to come from the head and go down into the heart, down into the body to resolve trauma. There's lots of situations where people are suffering trauma and they have ideas about what that is. They have ideas and thoughts and reasoning, and this is because, and that is because, and so behaved this way and that means that, and so behaved that way and that means that, and it's set in their heads. True healing means coming out of your head and down into your body. Your body is a divine source of information as well. Your body has a capacity beyond your reasoning to repair itself, to grow, to develop, to change. There's so many elements that we are oblivious to within our body. But this is saying, come out of your head and come down into your body. And there the bird is. So there's a bird here. So when it's upside down, the sword is saying, come down, and there you'll find your freedom. There you'll be able to fly like the bird. There you will get your freedom because you will release the trauma. Interesting, quite a heavy reading. Wow. So we've gone from justice, trauma release in the body, to judgment. And judgment is here to define the verdict. So the angel is coming to sing in the verdict. The angel is coming to announce the divine verdict. The angel is coming from the heavens and sounding the trumpet to bring forward the information. And these people in their coffins here, they're free from the coffins. They're not held in the darkness of the dark night of the soul. They've done the trauma work. They've looked deep within and they have been released. There is a old shamanic ritual where you go out into the woods and you bury yourself deep underground, overnight, under clay, listening to the sounds of the forest and the animals, being at one with the clay and the insects, everything that can happen overnight, and the darkness, and being with yourself in that vulnerable state. And it's about staying there for the night, and all that comes into your mind and dealing with it, all that comes into your mind and resolving your issues, being at one with your death, dying in a sense to yourself. So here they have died to themselves, they've done their work, and they are released. They are naked because they have nothing to hide. They have cleansed their body, cleansed their energy. They are okay with being a growing individual. They are okay with changing, with moving through the stages, child, slightly older, and adulthood. And you've got the divine feminine and the divine masculine. You've got the youthfulness as well. You know, our children go through so much trauma. So trauma is imperative to be recognized in all generations. It is not one generation that is suffering. All generations are suffering. We all have our own baggage. We all carry these coffins with us. And often we're carrying other generations' coffins with us. We're carrying their stuff, their opinions, their points of view, their programming that they've seeded in us. And so for healing to occur, you have to be able to do your own work, not, how can I say, not to get rid of all the projections, but to acknowledge what is going on within you, to balance it, to heal it, to clear it, so you can live your best life, so you can find the correct outcome, so you can find freedom. There is freedom here. There's a reaching forward to the higher realms. There's a reaching forward to the divine judgment, the divine decision. But it's a sounding, it's trumpeting, it's a celebration. There is freedom here. And although waters may be rough and may be dark, it may be emotional. Trauma release and work on yourself is never not emotional, it's emotional. You may have tears. Tears are cathartic. They detox the body. It's important to cry. It's important to shed tears. And through that, there are still waters ahead. You have horizons that you will meet. You have places that you will go to. Because judgment has been served. And so for those who have done you harm, for those who have infiltrated your sense of self and your body, perhaps your mind, your soul, for those who have demonized you, there is judgment coming, because you are coming from a more pure place. People may have attitudes and perspectives or notions on things, but doesn't make it right. Coming from the truest sense of you is acknowledging everything that you are. Everything. Being completely naked to the world. And that means that, in a sense, you free yourself from self-judgment. You take your self-judgment out of it. You allow yourself to be seen. You show yourself to the world. And in doing so, you are doing what is divine. You are following the divine. The divine wants to be known on this plane. That is why we, many of us who work in spiritual business, are working with the divine and bringing it through in different ways. It can be arts, it can be healings, it can be mediumship, channeling, writing, readings, many different ways to bring it through. But basically it wants to be known. It is not different to you. It is what you are. You've just forgotten it's what you are. But it's also a bigger part of you. So it is more and more coming through to be known. And as it comes through, it requires that you do your work. It requires that you clear up your energy system, energy body, yourself. And in doing so, then you have a secure, stable place. You have the divine pillars behind you. You have the divine essence behind you. And it will give you the impetus to move forward into your life and express this. And express it in a even-handed way, in a wise way. So I'm on 21 minutes. So I might just take a couple of other cards just to see what's coming through, because it's quite heavy. A lot of divine feminine energies and a lot of shifting, I think, in the world. A lot of moving from, we can see what the divine masculine, the heavy human masculine energy does. The desire for power and ego and control and legacy and just complete submission of everything else and everyone else, how that affects the world. And so it is important for the divine feminine to rise now, and even in men it is rising, because men can see fault with the old ways. They can see fault in how it doesn't encourage the beauty of individuals. And there's so much beauty and joy in individuals ready to come forward. And so, okay, we've got a goddess card, which is fine for men and women. And the goddess, okay, wasn't expecting that, but it's Vesta, and it's about home. And you can see this goddess, and she's beautiful orangey earthy colours, and she is quite beautiful. And she said your household situation is improving, either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. And this is because you're changing. So I'm going to read this as you're coming home to yourself. Your hearth is your heart. Your beingness, you're housed in this body. So let's look at this body as your home. So your household situation is improving. So your physical body is improving. You might be doing some work on nutrition. You might be doing some work on health and healing. You might be doing some repair to injury or exercising to improve your body. And this can be through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. So healthy change in the occupants could be your divine being, your divine self, the divine light coming through a little bit more. It is happening. I can't stress that enough. It is happening. You are becoming more of your spiritual self, gradually and slowly and bit by bit. The being that's occupying this vessel is changing. Those of us who are doing channeling a lot or working with the higher realms and the other energies know this a lot, know this to be true, and feel it physically. So when someone enters your space, someone from a different dimension or realm, we feel it physically. And in having these communications and connections, we are changing. Also, our body is becoming more crystalline. crystalline. And so the nature of the physicality of what we are is becoming more light, more crystalline, and therefore more sensitive, more like a generator of power, more receptive, as well as delivering power. So the home that we reside in, our physical body, is changing. The more we exercise and tone and refine our physical, which is meditation too, because meditation calms the system, calms the nervous system, reduces the adrenaline. It affects your brain. It builds your grey matter or white matter. I think it's your grey matter. You literally become more intelligent and smarter because of meditation. So you're changing your actual brain's physicality through things like these divine methods. So your physical is changing, your vibration of the physical. So how it vibrates, the human body is very dense. It's a very slow vibrating energy. And when you work with the other energies, they're very high and they're very quick. So when you do a channel or something connected to mediumship, you can feel a little fluttered. Your heart may flutter like you've had a coffee, or it may race a little because you're moving and working with higher realms. And the body is very dense, but it is changing. And so the house that you live in, the house that you experience the world through, is changing. So I might just read what it says just to see if I can bring any of that in together with it. So there is an undying flame within your soul, and it's the light, seed, and spark of your consciousness. Your outer world reflects your inner world. Take a look around your home. This is good to do as well, because not only are you the vessel and expression of your soul, but the environment you house yourself in also has an effect on you. So put art up on the walls, listen to music, clear away the debris, get rid of the clutter. Clearing out always, always, always. So take a look around your home. Does it reflect warmth? It's a simple task of using your creative imagination to add warmth to your home, such as lighting a candle, a fireplace, having a light in the fireplace, cozy blankets, cushions, nice cushions, displaying greeting cards, I have some cards up around the place just saying thank you, gratitude. So when you walk past it, you go thank you, gratitude, thank you. Just reminders, just ways to invoke this energy into your environment, into your body, into your mind. Fresh flowers is a nice one. By warming up your outer world, your inner flame responds to meet it. So the more comfortable and at ease and delighted you are in your space. And it doesn't matter what space you have. You don't have to have a luxury apartment. Many of us don't. I certainly don't. But there are little things we can do to make it just a little bit more beautiful. And the same you can do for yourself, men or women. There's little things that you can do to adjust in your life just to present a little bit more of your beauty to the world. That then will increase your energy levels, which automatically shifts the outward appearance for the better. Watch how these simple steps recharge the flame within everyone in your household. So as you make little adjustments, perhaps in your home, not only do you benefit, but everyone around you benefits. And it's the same when you make adjustments within yourself. Your energy changes and all those around you benefit. So this flame cleanses away negativity and brings in the new with vigor and irresistible invitation. So it's important to know the effect that some simple things can have in improving your life and the life of those around you. So it can be specifically for certain people about moving to a new home. You might have just moved. A new person might be moving into your home or into your life, or someone might be moving out of your home or out of your life. So it could be something to do with your neighbours, clearing space in your home, but also to know that your home is safe and protected. So that's very interesting. Let's bring it all back to the home that we're housed in, the body that we hold the trauma in. And it's about clearing up, not just the trauma in the body, but setting up our environment to help us feel secure enough to do that, safe enough to do that, in a space of beauty, so we are able to go deep. We are able to go down into the body, do some body work and release what needs to be released. Sometimes when I do yoga, just tears come. And it's because you've been working the physical body and somehow, some way, it releases something and it just brings the tears, which is a release and a cleansing and a healing. And you just allow it to happen. It can also release joy and laughter, which can come from deep-seated joy and these places within you that are so full of life. And when they get released, you feel, oh, I can't laugh. But I encourage you to laugh. I encourage you to express that joy, to do the work, to release the trauma so that your joy can rise again. So that's a very interesting read. Not what I was expecting for today, but it's given me a lot to think about. I hope it's given you some things to think about too. Enjoy the rest of your week. Let me know how you take this reading. Let me know what you find in it. Let me know if it's of benefit, you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it. It's always a pleasure to do the work for you, and I hope to see you again soon. So lots of love, blessings for the week, and I'll sign out for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.